everybody. This is Georgeann Harty from the South Coast ESD, and I am here with Jeremy Wells from ODE, and we are going to do a little 5-minute training on 504 versus IEP, and I am going to portray a brand new teacher, maybe not even licensed, but emergency licensed teacher. So I'm going to have some questions, and Jeremy's going to help me out with them. So I don't understand what that meeting was about.
So the meeting that we just got done with, or that we just talked about, was the comparing and contrasting a 504 and an IEP. And the way that I generally look at comparing and contrasting the two is I really look at them through the analogy of playing a game. So if we're playing baseball and I get up the bat and I swing the bat, but the only thing that's different about me is that I have a little bit bigger of a helmet or maybe an extra pad on my leg, but I run and I swing and I do all of those things, then I'm just getting an accommodation for playing baseball, which would fall under a 504. But if I don't have to run, somebody else runs for me, I just swing the bat, then that's modifying, that's changing the game. And when we modify and when we change the game, that can only be done through an IEP, through the special education process.
Okay. So I have a kid in my class who I think might have one of these, but I'm not sure. They told me there's a flag on their thingy, and I'm so new. I just don't really understand how do I know what I'm supposed to do with this?
Okay. So first off, in everybody's district, you should have a 504 coordinator and an IEP coordinator or director. Sometimes it's the same person, especially in smaller schools like ALSE or Powers. That's probably going to be the same person. So you're going to want to ask your administration who those contact people are. And then you as a teacher should have a list of all of those students, and you should have access to their IEPs and their 504s so you can see what you need to be doing in the classroom to enable them to have equal access to their peers. The other thing that a lot of folks wonder about is how do we get it started, right? We know a student is struggling, so if they're struggling with big struggles and they may be way behind in their academics or way behind in their behavior or their social skills, then that's probably going to be a child find under IEP, where you're going to want to talk to the SPED director and say, hey, I think this student could be eligible or need a lot of extra help. I think we need to do a child find. And then we pull the parents in and ask the parents to give us all of their resources and information that they have about their kiddo. And we have a meeting to determine, do we want to do assessments to move this work forward with getting an IEP? The nice part about that is you may determine in that meeting that there isn't enough evidence for an IEP, but there may be a need for this student maybe this student just really has an issue with really loud bells, and when the bell goes off in math class, it just really dysregulates them, right? So maybe that student just needs an accommodation, like leaving 3 minutes early, so that they don't have to hear that bell. Then you would need to say, okay, we need to reconvene as a 504 team. And again, really important, they're different team meetings. A 504 is under civil rights legislation, while an IEP is under more of the special education legislation. So they each have their own parental safeguards. They each have their own meeting type. So you can't do this both of them at the same time. But then you can use all of the data that you collected for the IEP to help your process with the 504.
Okay, so I think I understand a little bit better that a 504 and an IEP are two different things. That's good to know. And that if I have a student that's needing help, so I have one kid in my class and I just don't know what to do with her. She talks out, she walks around the room, I just feel like I don't have the skills to manage her. And she's really disruptive and I don't know what to do. And so could I talk to someone about that?
Yep,
on an IEP or something?
Definitely, definitely.
Okay,
Those are the type of situations where you as a new teacher need to reach out to your administration for help and get to know who your 504 and IEP case managers or directors or coordinators are,
okay,
so that you can talk to them on the side and say, hey, does Susie or Johnny, do they need extra help? Or have they been through a process? I'm experiencing X, and then that is what we would call child find, which starts a process. Now the team could determine not to move forward, and that's fine, that's within the rights, but they would need to pull the team together, whether it's an SST team, whether it's a child find team, whether it's a whatever your district uses. You'd want to pull those folks together and have a conversation.
okay. Oh, that is helpful. So one of the things that this girl has said is that she has an iguana that helps her. So if she's on a 504, can she bring her iguana to school?
So you would need to reach out to Winston Cornwall at the Oregon Department of Ed. You're going to see that his information attached in the email that I'm going to be sending you. And that would fall under a 504 accommodation. And from what I understand, it would have to be a licensed therapy animal. So I know that there have been cases of zebras and donkeys and miniature horses that have been brought into classrooms that didn't have the right paperwork, so they weren't allowed to be an emotional support or a support animal.
Okay. Well, thank you. This has really been helpful. I appreciate it.
Awesome. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and don't hesitate in giving Winston or me a call or sending us an email if you have any further questions.
Thank you. Wow, it's great to know you're there.